Hello, this is Amy Nennekamp for my EDUC 416 final project for presentation. Today I'm going to be talking about Storyline Online. To begin, just so you know a little bit more about Storyline Online. Storyline Online is a wonderful website for both parents, students, and teachers. As you can see, it mentions up here the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. To give you a little bit more background about that, the SAG-AFTRA Foundation is a wonderful foundation in which it seeks to promote and enhance literacy through the use of literacy programs. As you can see, is a free online audio web book, which has an amazing selection of books ranging from different subjects, art styles, and topics. The website is funded through the foundation. It's an amazing website in which it works with those in the performing arts to read various books, which I'll show you in a little bit. What they aim to do is connect literature with the performing arts. They have well-known actors or actresses that read the books, and I'll show that to you shortly. Another thing to note is that when scrolling through, and I'll show that as well, is the books will show you whom is reading them and the title of the book. Also, another important factoid to this is that there is no subscription required, which is really nice, and everything is free. A second note is a lot of the content on here is ever-changing, which means don't get too attached to your favorite book. It is not quite likely to be there within the next 6 to 12 months. But the good side is you're always going to have a lot of good stuff to look forward to. So to begin, I'll start off with some of the basic stuff that you see, and that is title, author, and reader. This simply means that if you are to click one of these buttons, it will organize the books according to the button you clicked. For example, if you hit the title button, it will organize the books according to title. And as you can see, when I highlight over it, it will show you who is reading the book. In this case, it's Kevin Costner and Jillian Estelle. And similarly with author, that is who wrote the book. And then if you have a particular person you're looking for or want, you can then click the reader. To give you some ideas on how to use Story Online, I've come up with some ideas of my own that I thought I could potentially use in my own classroom. You could either do this individually or in small groups. There are two things that I thought of, one of which is having students identify the main idea, characters, settings, theme, etc., either individually or in small groups. You could have them read a book, and then you could elaborate on that. You could then have them make their own story. You can then have them do a poster project, or it can be a great way to do reading time. A second way is you could use these books for more English-heavy things, so maybe for punctuation, grammatics, English-related stuff. So if you maybe want to have books that exemplify like capitalization, maybe finding pronouns, they could do something with that. Things of that nature, including like final of the adjectives, etc. There's a lot of Common Core stuff for this too. I wrote quite a few down. Most of them pertain to reading literature and fluency. Personally, I think there's a lot more Common Core stuff with this, but for the sake of the assignment and the presentation, I didn't want to go on for forever and a day about Common Core standards related to it. But to get to it, so if you scroll down, you're going to see, in this case, since I hit the reader button, it's going to show all of the readers. However, when you first go on the page, this is what it's going to naturally look like, and I'll switch to that. So for example, these are all the books, and I'll scroll down to show you what it'll look like. So if there is this option, you'll see the button, load more books, and that means there are more books to show you, in which case you'll keep scrolling and scrolling. As you can see, there's a variety, as I mentioned, of art styles, authors, subject matter. But one of the reasons why I like most about it is because there's a plethora of books of all kinds and different types. it's really quite enjoyable to see. So if you keep scrolling, and eventually, once you load all the books, the button will vanish and you'll start to see them shift around, which means there's no more books. To give you a demo of what it'll look like, I will go to my favorite book that is currently on here, and that's Googie Googie. I highly encourage you to read it if and when you have time. All of the videos are based in YouTube format. That is a really great thing because they're really easy to use and they're also accessible. If you click the button, which I can show here, it will start playing. This, of course, is the pause button. My internet is currently not doing so great and it says it's unstable, so it could be why it's taking longer. If you were to hit the previous button, it will then take you to the previous book in the lineup, which I'll demonstrate here. And if you go to the next option, it will bring you to the next book. What's also nice, in addition to clicking the actual book, is that towards the bottom, it will tell you specifics more about the book. In case you're wondering, that may be the length of the video, who's published it, who's reading it, of course, the author. Another interesting thing to know here in Storyline Online is that if you just want a whole list, you can use this option, which will allow you to see all of the books at once instead of having to scroll. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there is an option called Activity Guides. These activity guides are free activity guides that pair with a certain amount of books. Not all the books have activity guides with them, but some of them do come with it. You click it and it'll bring you to a PDF of the book. So I'm not going to go over everything, but they have some really interesting ideas and activities related to the book. If you're interested, I encourage you. I also like that it tells you more about the reader who's reading it to give you a clue in of who is reading you the book per se, and then of course the author itself. Going back here, so back on the home page, this is another handy dandy button, which is comments and questions, meaning it's more like an FAQ kind of deal. Another reason I like about this section to show is that if you maybe have a specific question, they could also get back to you. So if you don't see what you're looking for, that's also nice to have, is to know they'll have questions for you there. I'm not quite sure, honestly, how long it will take to get a response, in all honesty. I haven't quite done it, truthfully, but from what I can see from others, people seem to get a pretty good response back. Another thing to note here with the books is that you could also embed these and share them. So if per se you don't want to necessarily go to the website, you can embed the videos into maybe like a presentation of your own. In addition, with these books, I also like the ability to have the students use them more than once. This technology course has taught a lot in regards to other technology tools and literacy, meaning there's a lot of ways you can go about it. One assignment that I have also thought about, similar to the ones in conjunction I mentioned earlier, are the ones that you're able to, let's say, have students identify the elements of a story. Well, by identifying those elements, they can use other technology resources to maybe make and publish their own book. These tools can include things like this little storybird. They could do Pixton. You could also do, like, I think, word publishing, or like there's another website I can't think of, in which will allow you to make your own book. You could use these books as inspiration for making your own story. That's also another really cool feature. That is pretty much it for the most part for the website, other than some of the benefits you can do with it. There's a lot of ways that you could use the website in itself. Some I've already mentioned. That is pretty much it for the website. I believe I've covered everything for it. Is there anything else you'd like to know or have any questions?